Hello, welcome to LMU Community TV News. I'm Ashley Hurley. Thank you for joining us. It was a case that was open and shut within hours of it happening due to the quick work of deputies and detectives with the Claiborne County Sheriff's Office. In the early morning hours last Wednesday, James Miller and Clarence Painter Jr. entered a garage at a home on Mountain Road and took several items from the homeowner. Shortly after the burglary, a vehicle that had been seen leaving the area was spotted by Sergeant Eddie Hurley and a traffic stop was made. It was determined during the traffic stop that the driver of the vehicle, Martin Amburn, had brought items from the burglary to the pawn shop to be sold. The victim was then able to identify an additional item inside Amburn's vehicle that was taken from his garage. Further investigation by detectives Tim Shrout, Anthony Vayon, and Gary Ruskowski revealed that a portion of the stolen property was located behind a residence in the New Tazewell Mobile Home Park. The New Tazewell Police Department joined the investigation to help locate the items, finding even more stolen property underneath a second mobile home. All three men were arrested and charged with several charges that include aggravated burglary and theft. James Miller is being held and faces charges in Virginia. Painter and Amburn were also arrested on additional outstanding warrants. Under new direction, the Lincoln Memorial University Police Department and Security Division are focusing on more ways to increase safety on each campus. Cesar Gracia, Director of Campus Safety Operations and Emergency Preparedness Facilitator, is making sure that classes are held throughout each month that increase the knowledge of every officer within both departments. Just last week, a patrol rifle class was held. Gracia told LMU Community TV News that in light of all the active shooter situations that have been happening across the country, they want to have the officers and armed guards trained on how to use the patrol rifles to protect the students and faculty on campus. Last Thursday afternoon, Dale Farmer, a retired Kingsport officer and lead instructor with the Governor's Highway Safety Office, came to campus to work with the departments on felony traffic stops. Farmer travels across the United States and is nationally known for the work that he does with each department. Gracia told us that the training is basically an update on the best practices with dealing with low-risk and even high-risk traffic stops, and that does include felony traffic stops. Coming up in the next few weeks, we will be doing more with the department, so be sure you stay with us. Law enforcement agencies in and across Tennessee and even into southern Kentucky are actively continuing the search for a man who reportedly shot an Allgood police officer Saturday afternoon. Putnam County authorities say 62-year-old Floyd Ray Cook shot Allgood officer Ascari Valencia during a traffic stop around 4 p.m. Saturday. Valencia is said to be in good condition. He was treated and is now recovering at his home. About an hour later, Cook was involved in a shootout with officers in Cumberland County, Kentucky, according to the Kentucky State Police. A KSP trooper spotted Cook's vehicle on Kentucky 61 south of Burkesville and tried to stop him. Cook allegedly wrecked his truck and then started shooting at the trooper from inside the vehicle. Cook later ran away from the scene, and the trooper, though, was not injured. Cook is 6 feet tall with blue eyes and gray hair, weighing 160 pounds. He was last seen wearing jeans and a green Carhartt top jacket. Cook was last seen driving a black 2001 F-150 pickup truck with Kentucky tag 091HCS. The truck has an extended cab with a toolbox in the bed and chrome running boards with a blue University of Kentucky Wildcat license plate on the front of the vehicle. Authorities say Cook is considered armed and dangerous and urge anyone who sees him to not approach him. Anyone with information that could lead to Cook's whereabouts is asked to call 911 immediately. Well, coming up, a lot of activities are planned for this week, so be sure you stay right here to make sure you are part of the great events. That and more right here on LMU Community TV News after the break.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Welcome back. Lincoln is a 2012 American epic historical drama directed by Steven Spielberg, starring Daniel Day-Lewis as United States President Abraham Lincoln and Sally Field as Mary Todd. Next Wednesday, October 28th, actually this Wednesday, the Lincoln Memorial University Film Series is presenting the motion picture free of charge. Lincoln received widespread critical acclaim, and in December of 2012, it was nominated for 7 Golden Globe Awards, including Best Motion Picture, Best Director, and winning Best Actor for Day-Lewis. Along with watching the successful film, guest speakers will be featured at the event for the evening and include Dr. Charles Hubbard and Dr. Michael Toomey. The feature will take place in Avery Hall, room 213, and will begin at 7 o'clock. Again, it is free admission, so come out and enjoy the great film and lectures from Dr. Hubbard and Dr. Toomey. Well, coming up this Friday at Tex Turner Arena, kick off the Halloween weekend with Halloween Havoc with LMU and the Rail Splitter Athletic Department.
The third annual year, we're having the Halloween Havoc in Tex Turner Arena. It'll be Friday, October 30th from 6 to 8 p.m. We asked all the community to come out. We have free trick-or-treating around the arena, giveaway prizes, different things like that. It's really a great event for not only the athletic department, but the university as a whole to kind of connect with the community. It's a university-wide event. We have all different departments, organizations that are going to have tables set up, and there'll be different costumes and different things going on. We also have a photo booth with the athletes. I know that's a big hit with all the kids and stuff. So we're really looking forward to it. It's grown each and every year, and I think this is going to be the best year yet, so we're excited.
There will be games, prizes, a photo booth, along with your free indoor trick-or-treating. Also, while you are there, take a sneak peek at the new arena floor and see the men's and women's basketball teams practice. Plus, there will be a performance from the LMU cheer and dance teams. You will have your chance to see LMU's Tex Turner Arena and meet some of the athletes, cheer and dance teams, and members of LMU's student organizations. Entrance and trick-or-treating are free. Now, some of the activities will have a small fee. Also, members of LMU Community TV will be there, so be sure you stop by our table to say hello, and we will also be giving out candy. So if you would like more information on Halloween Havoc, you can contact Karen Farmer at 423-869-7409 or email at karen.farmer@lmunet.edu. Now, Halloween is a great tradition, but with all the excitement during the events of the holiday, it can cause children to be a little forgetful. So, the biggest dangers of that night are not the witches or the spirits, but rather from the possible falls or even pedestrian and or car accidents. So here are a few safety tips to keep you and your family safe on Halloween night. Parents, you can remember to make sure that your children's costumes are bright and reflective. Make sure they have a flashlight or glow stick with them, and always make sure there is an adult with them to supervise them during trick-or-treating. You can plan your route and only travel to familiar areas and have an established route. Only stop at houses and apartments that are well lit and never go into a stranger's house. Tell your children not to eat any of the candy until they return home and make sure it has been inspected. A very important tip is pin a slip of paper with your child's name and address and phone number inside their pocket just in case they get separated from your group. Now for homeowners, leave your porch light on to let children know that trick-or-treating is welcome at your home. Also consider keeping your household pets confined from the trick-or-treaters. For motorists, watch for children that could dart out from between parked cars. Watch for children walking on roadways, medians, and curbs. Enter and exit driveways carefully, and always watch for children in dark clothing. Now also make sure to contact your city hall to find out the specific hours for trick-or-treating in your neighborhood. Also remember that several local churches do offer trunk or treats as a safe alternative to trick-or-treating. Now be sure to tune in Thursday as we bring you a list of the trunk or treats and fall festival locations for the upcoming Halloween weekend. The Shawnee Masonic Lodge extends an invitation to the community to join them in their Thanksgiving dinner fundraiser. The dinner is scheduled for Friday, November 13th at the Shawnee chapter beginning at 5 o'clock. The prices for the dinners will be $8 for adults, and children 10 and under will be $4. Carry-out dinners are also going to be made available. The dinner will last until 7 o'clock that evening, so be sure you mark your calendars to participate and help out in this fundraising event. Well, recently, 5 players on the LMU softball squad were recognized as 2014-2015 National Fast Pitch Coaches Association Division II All-American Scholar Athletes. Additionally, the Lady Rail Splitters were ranked 37th out of the entire NCAA Division II with a cumulative 3.4 grade point average for the 2014-2015 school year, an accomplishment by the Lady Rail Splitters softball team. But something more incredible is what they are doing beyond the playing field and the classroom.
Well, our softball team here at LMU is trying to, collect different donations and items for all the flood victims in South Carolina. I know Coach Layden and her players are heavily involved in the community here in Harrogate and in the surrounding towns, but I think with having some players from South Carolina and just all the devastation that they've gone through, they're just trying to do whatever they can to just make a difference and help those families out. Like I said, we do have some players from the state of South Carolina that were not, impacted immediately, but they do have friends and family that they know of, and I think that kind of sparked the community service event they're running.
The softball team will be collecting items to send to the flood victims to South Carolina in an effort to help the families in the restoration process following the devastation. Examples of items can be anything from clothing to blankets, canned goods to hygiene items. Now, if you would like to help the Lady Rail Splitter softball team in their efforts to help the victims in South Carolina, you can contact Coach Natalie Layden at natalie.layden@lmunet.edu or by contacting Assistant Athletic Director Cam Wicker at cameron.wicker@lmunet.edu. Well, as some sports on campus come to an end, that only means that it's time for other sports on campus to begin. So after the break, Adam Haley will tell you which sports are wrapping up right here on LMU Community TV News.
Out of the military, I was missing this camaraderie.
It's frustrating when you try and talk to people that don't understand.
I would be talking, but I wasn't there with them. You just feel so alone.
I still had the anger, I still had the addictions, but we didn't talk about that.
Came to a point where it's like, okay, I really need to talk to somebody about this.
Family more or less encouraged me, go to the VA, you're a veteran, see what they can do to help you.
When you have family, friends, when you have the facilities like the VA and the Vet Center, it gives me, it gives others encouragement to keep moving forward.
It's okay to go get help. It's okay to talk to people because it takes true strength to ask for help.
Talking with other veterans was the best method for learning the roadmap to success.
Hear veterans' real stories of strength and recovery at maketheconnection.net.
doesn't see race. Love is love.
Cinderella found the pet that fits her perfectly. Tiana gave her pet the royal treatment. Belle found beauty where no one else did. And you can too. Share your heart. Share your love. Bring home your forever friend. Make a shelter pet part of your world. Happily Ever After begins at theshelterpetproject.org.
Welcome back. The LMU volleyball team had their last home weekend stand this past weekend when they hosted Queens in Catawba. Early on, it looked like it might go the way of LMU as they held Queens to only 34 hitting percentage in set 1 on their way to a 25-14 win. The Royals showed up in set 2 and proved to be too much, hitting .400 and connecting on 18 kills. Queens took set 2 25-23. The two teams traded sets 3 and 4 25-21 and 25-21 before the fifth and deciding set. Queens used a 4-0 run to take the lead 8-4 and never looked back as they took set 5 15-10 in the match 3-2. Kiera Holland led LMU in the loss with 16 kills. On Saturday, the ladies had to turn around and take on a Catawba team that was fighting for one of the top spots in the conference. LMU came out aggressive as they knew a loss could potentially put them on the outside of the conference tournament. LMU hit .316 and connected on 17 kills as they took set 1 25-15. Both teams were not going to give up in set 2 as the largest lead was 4, but once again it was LMU getting the job done, winning set 2 25-22. With their backs against the wall, the Indians came out and used 13 kills to take the lead 22-19 when LMU coach Jenny Michael called a timeout and settled down the Lady Rail Splitters. Whatever she said in the huddle worked because the ladies came out on a 6-0 run to finish off Catawba 25-22 and the match 3-0. Brooke Fleeman totaled 15 kills while Liz Brock and Kiera Holland each had 10. Now it's 7-8 in the conference and 10-11 overall. LMU finds themselves in a three-way tie for the 5th place, and they'll play host to Carson Newman Tuesday evening in the Mary Mars Gym. First service set for 7 p.m. with LMU Sports Network coverage starting at 6:45. The LMU soccer teams finished off their road schedule over the weekend when they traveled to Anderson, South Carolina to face the Trojans. The LMU women came into the match living on the edge of the conference tournament cutoff. The Trojans outshot LMU in the first half 8-6 and connected on one of those shots. Megan Foster scored in the 17th minute to give Anderson the 1-0 lead. LMU fought back in the second half with 7 shots but could never find the back of the net. Anderson added a goal late in the 86th minute and went on to win 2-0. The loss drops LMU to 4-8-3 overall and 2-6-2 in the conference, but LMU is still in the 8th and final tournament spot in the SAC. The LMU men came in hoping to keep up with Wingate and Carson Newman at the top of the conference standings. However, it was Anderson who got the scoring started on this day on a goal in the 7th minute by Lars Kuloa. From there, LMU took over, leading the first half in shots 9-5. They finally got on the board first. Danilo da Silva connected in the 36th minute to tie the game at 1. And almost 2 minutes later, Philip Wong connected on a Danilo da Silva assist to give LMU the lead 2-1. The Rail Splitters shut down Anderson's attack in the second half, limiting the Trojans to only 2 shots, and LMU won 2-1. The Rail Splitters are now 9-3-1 overall and 6-3-1 in conference play, which is currently has LMU in the 3rd spot in the conference standings with 1 game to go. The South Atlantic Conference Cross Country Championships were held this past weekend in nearby Pineville, Kentucky. On the women's side, it was Wingate who picked up their 3rd straight championship with an average time of 19:07.76, which was almost a full 20 seconds better than Queens. Katie Bird for Queens was the top runner on the women's side, completing the course in 18 minutes, 17 seconds and 1/10. Whitney Elliott was the top runner for LMU, taking 5th with a time of 18:59.6. She was also named to the All-SAC first team. The men's championship saw a domination come to an end, as for the first time in 19 years, it was not Mars Hill who claimed the title. This year it was Queens who picked up their first SAC cross-country championship with an average time of 25:56.40, a mere 4 seconds ahead of Mars Hill. The line's Alex Griggs was the top runner with a time of 25:08.2. LMU's Blaine Benitez was the top runner for the Rail Splitters, taking 20th place with a time of 26:50.4. Now let's take a look at the high school football scoreboard from this past weekend. Claiborne lost their 7th game of the year to West Green, 47-28. The Buffaloes only threw the ball once in the first half on their way to a 34-0 halftime lead before cruising for their first regional win of the season. Cumberland Gap fell to Happy Valley 72-14. The 72 points the Panthers allowed is tied for the second most points allowed in a game by Cumberland Gap in school history, and their losing streak is now at 17 games. Coalfield defeated Jellicoe 39-8. With the loss, the Blue Devils are now officially eliminated from playoff contention. And Unaka pulled off a close win over Hancock County 14-8. The Indians will finish their regular season with a record of 5-5, which is the best in school history. In Kentucky, Somerset defeated Middlesboro 54-7. The Yellow Jackets will finish last in their district. And with the loss, they'll join winless Trimble County and winless Betsy Lane as the only teams in Class 2A in Kentucky to give up over 400 points this season. 10th-ranked Bell County whipped Jackson County 48-8. Bobcat running back Trayton Humfleet finished the night with 7 carries for 123 yards and 2 touchdowns. Pinefield knocked off 7th-ranked Harlan 43-36. Mountain Lion quarterback Tuck Woolham was 14-19 passing for 290 yards with 4 touchdowns and 1 interception. With the win, Pineville is now tied with Harlan and Williamsburg for first in the district. And finally, McCreary Central lost their 4th straight game, this time to Thomas Walker, Virginia, 38-18. With the win, Thomas Walker ties last season's total for wins at 2. We'll preview the games coming up this weekend on our weekend edition of LMU Community TV Sports later on. The Sprint Cup Series was at Talladega this past weekend for the CampingWorld.com 500. Jeff Gordon took the pole in his final superspeedway race, but only led 8 laps. For the most part, everyone was patient and didn't make many bold moves as they prepared for the big one. Dale Earnhardt Jr. dominated the day, leading 61 laps, but was trailing Greg Biffle and Joey Logano with 5 laps to go when Jamie McMurray's engine expired and brought out the caution. Biffle came down pit road to get fuel, and that left Dale Jr. and Logano out front to lead the field for the green-white checkered finish. Just as the green flag flew, the big one happened behind the leaders. Kevin Harvick's engine was going sour, and as he tried to get out of the way, he got into Trevor Bayne, and that finished the race. Logano was declared the winner with Dale Jr. taking 2nd, followed by Gordon, Brad Keselowski, and Carl Edwards. Logano swept the 2nd round of the chase, while Dale Jr., Denny Hamlin, Ryan Newman, and Matt Kenseth were eliminated. The Sprint Cup Series will now start the Eliminator round next week at Martinsville. Now that's all for sports, but stay tuned after the break as Joseph Lewis will let us know how The Last Witch Hunter and the latest Paranormal Activity movie did in their opening week when he brings you the box office report when we return on LMU Community TV News.
She couldn't wait.
She had imagined the day for as long as she could remember.
The anticipation had been building.
The shopping, the dress, the jewelry.
Celebrating with her friends would be the sign that they had finally made it.
Only she didn't make it.
According to MAD.org, teen alcohol use kills 4,700 people each year. That's more than all illegal drugs combined.
Car crashes are the leading cause of death for teens, and about 1/4 of those crashes involve an underage drinker.
Don't add to these statistics.
Take a stand against underage drinking.
The future is in your hands.
One.
Two.
Me.
1 in 3 teens in the U.S. is a victim of abuse by a dating partner.
Numbers are important in sports, but now the number we want is 0. 0 victims, 0 offenders, no more.
We make up a larger team, Abe's team.
We're asking you to join Abe's team and be a part of No More. So maybe you're wondering, what does it take to be on Abe's team?
Active bystander efforts. Step in when you see someone needs help.
Ask what you can do. Believe victims. Extend your support.
Act better everywhere and expect your friends to do so too.
Always be enthusiastic, especially in obtaining consent.
Avoid belligerent egos who coerce, bully, or threaten.
Alcohol brings error, and I will not leave a friend behind.
Join Abe's team and say no more. Let's be #AbeHealthy.
Lincoln once said, "When I do good, I feel good. When I do bad, I feel bad." And that is my religion. In the spirit of Lincoln, let us support one another to do good. Join Abe's team and be Abe healthy by participating in active bystander efforts.
Hello, I'm Joseph Lewis, bringing you all the latest information in the world of movies. Tops at the box office this weekend and returning to its #1 position after a brief stay as runner-up was the space-hopping sci-fi saga The Martian, adding another $16 million onto its now $166 million domestic gross. 4 weeks into its release, The Martian is well on its way to becoming director Ridley Scott's highest-grossing movie of all time, trailing only in the wake of Gladiator with a $20 million deficit. Following closely behind at #2 was last week's winner, the kid-friendly horror comedy Goosebumps, adding $15 million onto its now $43 million domestic gross. And rounding out the top 3 once again was the Cold War thriller Bridge of Spies, taking $11 million for a cumulative domestic total of $32 million. While Bridge of Spies continues to underperform in comparison to past Spielberg-Hanks collaborations, including Saving Private Ryan, Catch Me If You Can, and The Terminal, it isn't alone. This weekend saw the release of 4 brand new films and 1 major expansion, none of which managed to set the box office on fire. Of the 5, the Vin Diesel starring supernatural action-adventure The Last Witch Hunter fared best with a $10 million gross and a #4 ranking on the charts. Further down the list, appropriately at #6, was the 6th entry into the Paranormal Activity franchise, subtitled The Ghost Dimension, pulling $8 million from 3 days of release and special Thursday night showings. The 2,400-screen expansion of the Aaron Sorkin-penned biopic Steve Jobs yielded $7 million, bringing the film's domestic total to a low $9 million after 3 weeks of release, despite the broad appeal of its subject matter and the star power of Michael Fassbender, Kate Winslet, Seth Rogen, and Jeff Daniels. The weekend's other 2 wide releases didn't even place within the top 10, with the Bill Murray starring Middle East set comedy Rock the Casbah floundering with $1.5 million, and the live-action adaptation of Jim and the Holograms performing similarly with $1.3 million. Meanwhile, Hotel Transylvania 2 continued to draw audiences with $5 million and a #5 ranking on the chart, the animated sequel finally eclipsing the $148 million gross of its predecessor. Other titles, including successes like The Intern and Sicario, as well as financial flops like The Walk and Pan, are all collectively losing steam, as is the singular vision of Guillermo del Toro's gothic horror romance Crimson Peak, which followed its disappointing opening with an even weaker $5 million take this weekend. Next week, of course, falls in line with Halloween, a notoriously sluggish time for the box office, which means that grosses will more than likely remain underwhelming until the November 6th releases of sure-to-be blockbusters Spectre and the Peanuts movie. That's all for today in the world of movies. I'm Joseph Lewis.
Well, that is going to do it for news for Monday. But if you'll notice, Adam and I kind of matched today. This is in honor of it being the last Monday for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So be sure you tune in on Thursday. We are going to have a behind the scenes with some doctors from DCOM at the women's facilities at Servolution Health Services. So tune in Thursday. So.
Yep. That's going to do it for this week's edition of the LMU Community TV News. I'm Adam Haley.
For everyone behind the scenes, I'm Ashley Hurley, and we will see you on Thursday.